What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful night tonight. Beautiful night. A little bit crispy, but comfortable. Having some tea here. Delicious. Perfect night for tea. So I was thinking I'd like to visit some of those remote locations on the planet. I've said this before, but a lot of people, they want to see the popular places. Paris, Rome, places like that. But I want to go to the extremes. I want to see the North Pole, South Pole, the mountains of the world, especially the Himalayan mountains. I don't need to go to the top. Matter of fact, I don't think it's necessary, but I want to go to the base where they sell blankets and buy some blankets there, and then just look at the awesome mass of dirt on the border of China and Nepal, or I guess that is in that area, Nepal and India. Beautiful location. Visit some remote islands, but I like to do all that on my own and keep a journal. And maybe have obviously a camera and a tripod. I learned my lesson a long time ago. You always need a camera. When I was younger, I went to the Grand Canyon and I did the whole walk past, went all the way down past Phantom's Ranch, and I came back up the same night, and it took a lot out of me. It took a lot of energy to do all that. The one thing I regretted was not having a camera. Wish I had a camera. Like right now, if I had done the same exact walk, I would have probably had 2,000 pictures. 2,000 pictures and tons of video. But in those days, and I did it kind of last minute. I didn't plan ahead. So, but if I go and do something like that these days, definitely camera, video, all that stuff. Nice tripod. But it would be an awesome scene, Mount Everest. You're walking, and you can see it, and then boom, you're there. You're there right next to the mountain. So I want to see all these, creepy looking places on the planet. There's a few places that are northern Russia, Siberia, even I'd like to walk across the Bering Straits in the winter time when the ice is frozen. I see a lot of people doing that. They wait for the ice to freeze, and it's kind of creepy if you think about it. You're walking on this ice, and underneath you is a very, very, very deep ocean. When you think about it like that, it's a bit creepy. I know the snow blocks that kind of thinking, because it's, you see the snow and you're not really thinking that there's so much water underneath me right now. So that would be a cool thing. But the other side where Russia is, the opposite side where Alaska is beautiful. It's just like Alaska, except it's in Russia. So that would be a cool adventure. Beautiful mountains in there. I look at it on Google Earth, and it fascinates me. Delicious tea. But these places are hard to get to. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to go to an uninhabited island. And this is many, 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 many years ago. So I discovered a website that showed you where these cargo ships, their routes, and you could actually pinpoint islands near those routes. So I was thinking one day, go down to the docks and talk to some of these people that work on these ships and say, hey, can I hitch on a ride on these on one of these boats, one of these ships? And then when you get close to these islands, you have a raft, an inflatable raft, one of those that you pull and it inflates, and then you toss it off the side, and then you jump off the side of this massive cargo ship and you go to the island. And I go, that sounds good to me. But then I thought about it and I said, well, going is one thing. What about coming back? You have to time it just right. And what about if they blow you off? They see you down there and they go, psh, who cares? You know? I always wondered if something like that did happen, how would they pull you up? And now I know, because I went to Alaska and the ship we were on, the side opens up and the water's right below, but I mean, it opens up. You literally, you could jump in from the water. So, but that would be an awesome trip. That would be cool if they had private yachts or private, ships that take it to all the extraordinary places on the planet. One time, I was telling I was being serious, but it was really a joke. I was talking to somebody and I said, I'd love to go to the North Pole and I'd love to take a picture on that metal thing that sticks out of the pole. I'd like to sit on that and somebody take a picture of me there. And they looked at me and they said, you do know that that's just a pretend thing, right? And I said, oh, it's pretend. So they had explained to me that thing sticking out of the ground, that's a pretend thing, as if I thought the earth looked like a globe that you have on your desk. So yeah, so I was inside doing the dishes in the dishwasher, and I remembered a long time ago, my mother, we had a dishwasher in the house. She never ever used it, always washed the dishes by the hand. Still to this day, that's the way it is, washes them by hand. And I remember one time they went somewhere, my parents, I was a kid, teenager, and they ended up going somewhere and I was home alone and dishes accumulated. So I said, I'm just going to throw them in the dishwasher. But because my mother does not use the dishwasher, we had no dishwashing soap like Cascade. So being inexperienced as I was, I put in dish soap from the sink, the kind that gets sudsy, and I put a good amount in there. I think I put like a half a cup. So I hit the button, it's working. I'm happy about it because I don't have to do them by hand. And at some point, I'm in the other room, I'm watching television. At some point I went back to the kitchen to get a beverage. And what do I see? The entire kitchen floor was full of soap suds. And it kept coming out. It was gushing out of the sides from the washing machine. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? So I shut the machine off. And then I grabbed, had a shovel thing, and I grabbed the suds. And I would go to the sink and have the water running and rinse the suds off of my shovel. It took forever to get them out of there. And then I turned the machine back on to try and flush all that out, and more suds were coming out. Now, I don't care if I have unlimited time, but when you know your parents are coming back from wherever they went, yeah, that's stressful. So eventually I got all the suds out. Got a mopped everything a couple of times so you couldn't tell, and then I learned my lesson. You cannot use any old soap in a dishwasher. You have to use the kind of soap that does not become sudsy. A couple of months ago, my machine here broke, washing machine, dishwasher, and the guy that came to fix it, first thing out of his mouth, he goes, did you put any other kind of soap in here that made it come out the sides? I go, I already know about that. I go, no, I did not. I'm going to tell him I know about that way before you even were born. Come here explain to me about soap suds. I know that. I experienced it. So, and you know what I realized? Like, I haven't tried it with colored clothes. I don't want to ruin them. But if you have white clothes with stains on them, put in 2 of those Cascade cubes with your detergent, hot water, and let it go through the whole cycle, and your clothes will come out super clean. I had some socks that were kind of, you know, walking around, the bottom was kind of dirty, and so I put a couple of Cascade blocks in there, and I washed them, and they came out as if they were brand new, not even a sign of dirt. Put a little bleach in there too. But apparently the Cascade does wonders. Good tea. Wish I had a walkie-talkie right now. Be like, yeah, breaker 19, come in 19. Remember BJ and the Bear? BJ and the Bear, they always solved crimes on the side. Guy delivering, there was always a crime to solve. Had that monkey. BJ and the Bear. So I have a CB, Citizens Band Radio. And I was very excited when I first got it. I said, oh, I'm going to talk to people here. So I set it up, had the antenna, went through every channel, and I heard crickets. Crickets, which annoyed me. There was not one person on. So then I said, well, what about if I take it with me? I drive around. Put it in the car, drove down. I went all the way to Rancho Cucamonga. I didn't even hear one person on the CB. Everybody has an iPhone now. They don't use CBs anymore. When I was a kid, though, those things had a lot of people talking on them. Everybody was on them. Hey, I'm here. What are you doing? I remember one Christmas, my uncle bought me walkie-talkies. 2 of them. You know, the kids' variety, but they were decent. They had Morse code on the bottom. So I went home, and you know what? I'll tell you what, they used to piss me off in those days. They would buy you Christmas gifts, which was great, but they never bought you the batteries. So you would open it up all excited, oh, look what I got, and you couldn't use it. You know, they'd say, oh, I can't get anything because, you know, my father would be, oh, we can't get anything, stores are closed today, Christmas. And I was always annoyed, you know, so anytime we get gifts now and they require batteries, we include the batteries. You know, what a turnoff that is to get a gift and batteries are not included. So yeah, when my kids were younger and I would go shop for birthday gifts, I always got batteries. And back then, you know, when the kids were younger, not my kids only, but their friends, it was so easy to buy gifts. I'd go into Target, I'd go into the toy section, and I'd get something cool, and then I'd get batteries. So anyway, I get the walkie-talkies from my uncle, and I get home and I had some batteries there, the 9-volt, put them on inside there, and I had on low volume because my father could hear things at night. And I started hearing people all over the place. No matter what channel I went on, there were tons of people talking. So, you know, I was just listening. I was like Rambo, just picking up words. You know, and then I mentioned another time that my father had gotten a station wagon from some old lady who barely used it at all, and it was a Ford Country Squire, not Billy Squire, but Country. And I didn't want a Ford. I wanted a Chevy. I wanted an Impala station wagon like we used to have, or like we still had at the time we were looking, right? So when they said Ford, I was like, but then we got there and it was in good condition. LAPD. So it was in very good condition, and my eyes caught something in there that fascinated me. CB. There was a CB in there that was operational. So immediately I went from being anti-Ford guy to we have to get this. I told my father, you got to get that. So he ended up getting it. not because of the CB, but because it was a good car, and he needed a station wagon because he was a station wagon guy. Station wagon guy. So we brought it to our house. We had a long driveway. He put it all the way in the back, and then I jumped in there, and I got on the CB, and I was talking to everybody. I couldn't get off of that thing. You know, so I've always been a radio guy. Always been a radio guy. CB, regular radio, you name it. Shortwave radio. Always. One day, I'd like to become a ham radio guy. Get a little place in the house to fill it up with radios all over the world, talking to people, listening. Those are great for emergencies. Something happens. You know, the telephone poles get knocked down, the cell towers get knocked down. You still have ham radio. Ham radio is very dependable. Thursday night. It's late. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, 11:30, something like that. That's another thing I'd like to do. You get a nice boat. I don't know what's comfortable, 15-footer, 20-footer, and you go across the Pacific, end up in China or Japan or something. You have a little ham radio in there, little radio, talk to the National Guard people in case something happens, they have to find you. I watch videos, some young guy, he got a boat with sleeping quarters there, and he videotaped his journey. I think he went across the Atlantic or something. That is, if you think about it, pretty creepy, especially if a storm hits. Here you are, a little teeny-weeny vessel, and you have huge waves coming over you in the middle of the ocean that's thousands of feet deep. But they're fun memories and fun adventures. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside now and maybe make a little bit more tea. A little more tea. I could go for another cup. This is like pig tea or something it's called. Pig whistle tea? I don't know. Maybe that's something else. It's good, but it's not Lipton. Burgess Meredith. I bet Burgess Meredith would do the, no, Burgess, not Burgess. Burgess was the guy in Rocky there. Meredith was the last name. What was his name? Don Meredith. I don't know why I keep saying Burgess Meredith. Maybe they were cousins or something. Burgess was Mickey. And the Penguin, too. He was the Penguin in Batman 1966 series. I'm talking about Don Meredith. When I was a kid, Don Meredith did the Lipton tea commercials. And, man, I loved tea back then, too. Except back then, you know, my mother, if you said tea, she always thought you had to be sick to drink tea. No, I drink tea all the time. I'm not sick right now, I'm drinking tea. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to go inside and see what's going on. But I am going to make another cup. So that's it for now. Ciao.